TV shows have their tropes. While a doctor show will have an obscure disease every week, and a soap opera will have previously unknown twins coming out of the woodwork, a detective show has its own series of tropes. We could go into the whole everyone on the team is single and attractive, or that every show will feature at least one of the characters wandering off and stupidly confronting a criminal by themselves, but this is a tech channel. So let's examine one of the most common tech tropes in detective shows. The scene is easy to imagine. The detectives have tracked down footage of the suspect. They rush it back to the always quirky computer expert in the office. She pulls up the pixelated face that looks like blobby squares. The detective says, "Can you make it any clearer?" Lab tech says, "I'll try this." A few taps and the blurry blobs meld together into a relatively high-quality photo. The problem with this scenario is that it is impossible to enhance what isn't there. Sure, a computer expert can try to make an educated guess of what might be in the photo, but the whole tappy-tappy magical enhance button doesn't really exist. So let's boil it down. Most computer photos are made of pixels. Pixels are made of bytes. If you've seen the other video on the channel, Bits and Bytes, you know that 8 bits make 1 byte. In a black and white photo, 1 byte is equal to 1 pixel. The bits involved in a color photo vary. If the image is 8-bit color, it can only contain one of 256 colors, but most of the time you have definition capabilities as well. If the image is 24-bit, it's 3 bytes, one each for red, blue, and yellow. These form one colored pixel and up the amount of colors possible to 16,777,216. A photo is made up of a series of pixels. The more pixels there are in a photo, the clearer the image will be. Pixel is short for picture element. The human mind is amazing in that many times it is able to recognize images, even if they are pixelated. Let's play a game. Take a guess on the identity of the famous person in the photograph. I'll give you 2 chances at different pixelation levels, with the final photo being the clear image. The oddest part? If one puts more distance between themselves and the highly pixelated images, it is actually easier to see what they are. So why doesn't the enhance button work in all these detective shows? Well, zooming in on pixels doesn't create new ones. It merely makes the ones already there, bigger. So bigger blobby squares instead of smaller blobby squares. Think of it like a piece of chocolate sitting on the counter. You want a bigger piece of chocolate, so you employ a magnifying glass to make the chocolate appear bigger. However, when you eat that chocolate, it is the same size. Making it appear bigger didn't actually make it bigger. It's the same with pixels. Once a photo is taken at a particular resolution, it is impossible to add more information to that photo. Now at times, it is possible to enhance the information that is there, but not in the way that TV technicians do. For example, one may have an image that is dark. An expert may adjust the brightness or contrast to make it easier for the human eye, but this is clarifying information that is already within the image, not adding new information. A computer screen is made up of thousands or millions of pixels. Humans can't generally pick up on the individual pixels. However, if one alters the resolution of their screen, it may become possible to start to pick up on individual pixels. To figure out how many pixels are in a particular resolution, one needs to employ their multiplication skills. A high-definition resolution of 1920 by 1080 contains 2,073,600 pixels. Due to the high amount of pixels, the image is clearer than if the resolution was 640 by 480, but because a 640 by 480 screen would only contain 307,200 pixels. When choosing what resolution to take photos at, it's important to know what the image is for. If a photographer is shooting a wedding, they will take higher resolution photos so that the image can be blown up and printed without pixelating. On the other hand, images taken for a newsletter or e-commerce website should probably be smaller to allow them to be displayed without difficulty. Although if one does have a too large photo, it can be reduced down to allow it to be displayed on a computer screen with ease. The opposite is not true. If a wedding photographer decides to take photos at a small resolution to save room on her camera, all the keyboard tapping in the world cannot add information to make the photo clear at a large size. When it comes to software, we can take a lesson from Pixels. Sure, a low-quality website or application might seem like a good idea, but just like a low-quality photo will leave detectives scratching their heads, a low-quality website or application might leave users saying, "Enhance and make it work." Unfortunately, no magical technician can click a simple perfection button on low-quality software. Instead, hire a reliable software company to produce a high-quality website or application perfect for your needs. Visit swansoftwaresolutions.com to schedule a free assessment.